At Sigma, we're always paving our own path with new innovation and meaningful functionality. Today's launch is all about navigating AI country and discovering how Sigma's AI helps you drive work forward and accelerate insights. We'll begin our journey with AI Query and AI Builder, exploring new ways to work smarter with data and apps. Then we'll travel through the connected trails of MCP, where your trusted data meets up with third-party platforms and external services. And finally, we'll camp in tenant territory, where new features empower admins to govern across regions, share assets securely, and scale with confidence. We'll also hear from Sigma champions at Prologis and Persona who are simplifying workflows with Sigma. Join us on our adventure through AI country. Last winter, we announced AI Query, a simple but powerful way to access AI through a formula.
Sigma has always been a window into your cloud warehouse, generating the SQL from your UI interactions, so any functions your warehouse supports, including AI functions, can be run in Sigma using what we call pass-through functions. These functions send the necessary data and arguments to your warehouse and return those results back to you. Your data stays under the same security and permissions that your admins already manage, and you can use whichever LLM your warehouse team approves instead of being locked into a single model. Let's build an example using Snowflake's AI Complete to not only translate these reviews from other languages to English, but also identify some competitive advantages. Complete is how you write an LLM prompt around the data in your warehouse. To start, I add a new column and type in the pass-through function call text, because we want to return text instead of a number or a date. Then I type in the name of the Snowflake AI function, AI Complete. Then I add the arguments or pieces of the formula that are listed in the syntax on Snowflake AI's Complete documentation page. It says first we need to choose an LLM. For this example, let's go with OpenAI GPT-5. The next argument is the prompt instructions. Let's say, identify the favorite feature of this review, reply in English. And then tell Sigma which column contains the reviews. Click the green check mark to run, and now our team has an automated AI-powered analysis workflow. Pass-through and AI functions are powerful building blocks for creating meaningful workflows in Sigma, but they still require some technical knowledge. Custom functions simplify this by enabling admins to create pre-packaged functions that wrap an AI query inside of a simple, business-friendly easy button. Let's turn the function we just built into a custom Ask ChatGPT function. In the administration section, under Custom Function, click Add. Name it Ask ChatGPT, and add a description like use ChatGPT to answer questions about data. Then create the arguments or pieces of the formula we want the end user to provide. For this function, we'll hardcode the LLM and only ask the end user for the prompt and the data. Click Add Argument and name it Prompt. Change the type to text and add a description so the end user knows what to enter, such as the instructions or questions to send to ChatGPT. The next argument is the data field. This is also a text, and the description is the value we want to run the prompt on. With the arguments ready, we can write the formula. We'll start with the same formula we used for the review analysis. Call text, AI Complete, OpenAI GPT-5, but this time, use the prompt and data arguments we just created. We'll click Save, and let's try it out in a workbook. Back in the Software Review Analysis workbook, I add a new column and use the new Ask ChatGPT formula. I can provide the same prompt or a different one and reference the same data to run another AI-powered analysis. By using the building blocks of AI Query to access your warehouse-approved LLMs and create friendly, customized formulas, anyone in your organization can start using AI in their workflow.
But what happens when you head deeper into AI country? AI Builder is your always ready-to-go Sigma Copilot, here to help you map new trails in workbooks with natural language. From simple things like asking AI Builder to change the title of elements to something a bit more descriptive, to more complex tasks like creating dashboards and applications. Let's open AI Builder and create a customer survey form that our manager needs. First, it maps out its journey by thinking through all of the components needed to record and display the survey data. It decides first to create a hidden page for the input table, and since input tables write back to our warehouse, it pauses to ask where we should create that table. Once that's taken care of, it gets right to work creating the columns needed. Then on a new tab, it adds a page title and a form for users to fill out. Lastly, a table displayed all the survey results. And within a couple of minutes, we have our app and can journey on to our next, even bigger adventure, like creating a detailed sales forecasting app.
Sometimes the biggest hurdle is knowing where to get started. AI Builder is specifically designed to help you conceptualize and ideate anything in Sigma. For example, let's ask AI Builder what it recommends for a forecasting app. It replies with a conceptual outline for everything from the backend table structures to visual designs to user interactions. It even has some structural considerations to call out. Let's ask it to start building its recommendation. First, it creates the input table for capturing the forecasts. On separate tabs, it starts creating the form for data entry, as well as the control elements to act as filters and charts to visualize the data. This is a great wireframe for everything, but we can make this an even more powerful prototype by generating some fake data to make sure that everything is as it should be. With that completed, let's check the input form. And so far, everything looks good. Let's save the workbook so we can test out the workflow. And since AI Builder is integrated into the workbook experience, nothing changes about what I can do as the human in this loop. For example, the fake data forecast period isn't exactly what I want it to be. Let's change the data validation options to our company's standard view of year, then quarter. I can always interject with my Sigma expertise or organizational knowledge to adjust the builder or outputs as needed. Now we're ready to test it out. Again, we're just testing the workflow to make sure everything is as we want it. And back on the forecast dashboard, we can see our new forecasted amount. AI Builder gets you moving when the starting point isn't obvious, continues to be your co-pilot for when you get stuck, and helps you iterate and create faster than you would on your own.
Across every department, Sigma's AI features transform how teams work together, helping organizations make informed decisions and act faster than ever. For even more examples, let's hear from users at Prologis.
Prologis is the world's largest logistics leader. We are the #1 private solar provider portfolio in the US. My team owns and manages our BI analytics platforms, including Sigma. When we first purchased Sigma, it was to fill a need that our legacy tools didn't provide. We have business users who have tens of millions of records of data that within our existing enterprise platforms just wasn't performant. What brought us to Sigma is that ability to really drive self-service analytics. We're able to stream our data from our ERP systems, our CRM systems, our leasing systems, every other system that we have here at Prologis into Sigma, into Snowflake, and allow our users to go in there, bring that data together, and create their own insights. They're not stuck in a backlog queue. They're able to take tasks that they were doing within the source systems directly that were taking them hours to generate was now returning in seconds. AI is in full effect here at Prologis, and we use Sigma and its AI features a few different ways. Our business users who aren't necessarily technically savvy can use the AI features to get insights about a data set, information about a workbook and a dashboard. They can find those different nuggets of analytics insight by asking AI within Sigma. The future with Sigma is definitely bright here at Prologis.
We've long heard that data is the new oil, and with LLMs, we can access this information in new ways. We also want to bring this great AI experience even more into Sigma. Salik, I know your team has been working on MCPs to help with that experience. Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
MCP is really just a standard way that you connect your AI system with your data sources. It is ultimately about adapting LLMs and conversational chatbots so your customers or our customers, these organizations can actually leverage these external data sources. With Sigma, we are both a consumer of data. We have warehouse tables that we use data from, and we are also creator of data. We have apps, we have workbooks. And so Sigma can be both an MCP client or an MCP server, and we are investing in both of them. Our goal with the MCP client is to enhance Sigma's own AI capabilities. We have Ask Sigma, we have an app builder, and we will be investing in more AI innovations. What we want to do is connect with this external non-warehouse data sources and bring the context into Sigma. So when a customer or an end user of Sigma asks a question, they get better responses because we have the context that we previously did not have from the warehouse data sources. So what we have done is worked on a G Drive connector, a Confluence, GitHub, and also allowed our customers to bring their own MCP server if there is some proprietary business context that could be useful for their customers when they're asking a question. We want to bring that context in and give you better results.
And as you said, Sigma can be both a client and a server. So what are we doing on the server side?
Sigma's MCP server allows you to use Sigma outside of Sigma in any other tools like ChatGPT, Claude, or if you have your own conversational chat interface, we allow you to bring Sigma there as well. For example, if you ask a question in your chat interface, we want to provide you with the list of resources that have this answer to begin with. Our MCP server has about 20 tools that allow you to do various kinds of things. Of course, you want to do searching, listing. If you combine it with any of your other MCP servers in your tech stack, you are able to come up with really creative outputs and get insights on your dashboards.
Yep. So whatever adventure I want to go on, I'm always going to have the right context and information along that path. But what if I want to go off-roading? What if I already have an AI agent that I want to bring into the Sigma experience?
We have partnerships with a lot of cloud data warehouse providers. We work very closely with Snowflake and Databricks. Our philosophy has always been that we are the UI for your warehouse. Historically, that has been just for the data in our warehouse, but we are extending that beyond just being the data to agents that you build in your warehouse. So for this release, we are adding the capabilities to bring any external agent that you configured into Sigma, into Sigma's Ask experience specifically. We are starting with Snowflake's Cortex agent, but again, this is the foundational thing for a lot of other things we'll do. So you can customize your Snowflake Cortex agent, add your instructions, your prompts, add any tools like Cortex Search or Analyst, and then orchestrate it however you want. And then you can wire that up easily into Sigma's Ask experience so users can consume it.
So anytime a user asks a question in Ask Sigma, it will know what Snowflake Cortex agent to respond with?
Of course, yeah. So any user could have access to more than one Cortex agent. So Sigma's Ask essentially will pick the right agent based on the instructions that this Cortex agent has, and then pass on the question and the prompt over to the agent, and then get back the response. The most amazing part about this integration is that we are going to create Sigma elements as responses, which now can be transformed into any workbooks or applications. And these can be shared across your entire organizations, and it will carry over any security and governance measures that you might have put on top of it. This is basically AI sitting right next to your BI. You have living, breathing documents being created and shared across, rather than any static snapshots in your chat interface. So we are starting with Cortex agent in our Ask experience, but soon we'll be extending it to any other external agents in other interfaces in Sigma.
That sounds like it's going to be an awesome adventure to go on.
Zolek, I know though that you are a man of many adventures. What other adventures can we talk about today?
You want to talk about Sigma Tenants?
I do want to talk about
That's
Tenants.
my favorite topic.
I love it. Last quarter, we released Sigma Tenants, which allow organizations to create isolated environments for their data. What else have you been up to?
Our goal this quarter is to get to public beta. First thing we're working on is deployments, specifically monitoring and any kind of observability features that you need for a deployment. We want to give you any errors, any logs, and give you suggestions if any of your deployment fails across your 100 or maybe thousands of tenants. The second thing is we want to add more functionality to the deployment. So we want to support semantic views. We want to allow you to swap out your databases and schemas. And overall, we are improving the UX of how a deployment is configured. We are also working on cross-region support. So if you want to deploy a tenant in, let's say, US and another tenant in EU and so on, we want to also support that.
So it sounds like no matter where your adventure takes you, it'll be even easier now with Sigma Tenants.
Exactly. And a couple more things that we are working on are tenant-to-tenant deployments. We've got feedback that we want to deploy directly from my dev tenant to prod tenant, or I have an SI partner in a tenant that wants to create content for my rest of the tenants. That's going to be possible as well. And we are also going to add additional governance through approval workflows in this tenants.
That sounds like an awesome list of features so that wherever your adventure takes you in the globe, you'll be ready to go with Sigma Tenants. All right, Zolek, thanks for sitting down and having this conversation with me about all the new features that are coming within Sigma.
Thanks, Katrina, for having me. It's a pleasure as always.
Persona. Our vision is to create the identity layer of the internet. We are a fully customizable identity solution for any app and pretty much any business at this point. So I'm the head of customer insights. We are the data analytics team at the company. We used to, in our old provider, have like, here's your metrics, this is what you get, because that's all we could do. But with Sigma, we're able to like use the same data models we have, tweak it in some specific different ways for different use cases. And now we have, I call it like the library of Sigma dashboards. Here's the KYC onboarding use case. Here's your transaction monitoring for anti-money laundering. And then some customers, again, they care about conversion or latency, and those dashboards are ready to go with different metrics highlighted and different trends showing over time. Biggest impact has been, there's the not quantifiable things of our customers trust us more. They interact with the data we're providing them, the numbers, the trends over time. We've had over 60% increase in customer usage. Last time I looked, it was over 80% of our customers are using, clicking, changing settings in the dashboards we're providing. Time savings has been huge. Days have turned into minutes. I honestly think I've gotten a full month back of time to devote to other projects just this year. I'm really excited to get my team starting to ask AI questions. So ask Sigma to get the discovery started and see what comes back to guide investigations or where we can leverage. Multi-tenancy, we think, is gonna unlock actually letting our customers start building things using data models we provide. We worked with a lot of data savvy customers who know what they want and they just want to build it themselves. So we're really excited to enable that in multi-tenancy.
The world of AI Country is vast and uncharted, but Sigma is committed to making the features and tools you need to explore new frontiers and build solutions to your everyday data and AI problems. And if you're ready to take the next step in your journey, I'm beyond excited to invite you to our first ever in-person conference. Come join fellow Sigma app builders, data architects, and business leaders to discover how Sigma is building the future of AI and data workflows. We can't wait to see the incredible adventures you go on with Sigma.